Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about whether it's possible to sign a client that's already working with another agency and kind of how that dynamic works, because we've done it a few times, and it's kind of an interesting topic and I get asked a lot of questions around it. So yeah, in this video, stay around to the end because there are going to be lots of useful tips in terms of how to operate when you're working with a client that's also got another agency on their books, and also how to close a client when their kind of relationship with their existing agency is on the rocks, and how to kind of find that information out. So guys, like I say, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the kind of dynamic between you, the client, and the other agency when there's two agencies involved in that kind of business relationship. And it does happen. We've had probably 5 to 10 different instances where we've actually signed with a client when they've got another agency on their books. And usually I think I think there's only been once where we haven't come out on top. And that was one of the first times it ever happened. And we learned from that mistake. And, and hopefully in this video, I'm going to tell you the things to look out for so you don't make the same mistakes. So like I say, it's very common that a client will work with multiple agencies at the same time, or at least have some overlap in them. And usually what happens is they'll have an agency they're working with and they're probably 5 out of 10 happy with them. They do the job. They're not 100% happy with them, hence why they're still entertaining a conversation with you, but they're not ridiculously unhappy with them, hence why they're still working with the other agency. So usually what happens is there'll be an overlap period of say 2 or 3 months, and in that 2 or 3 months it's them making a decision of, right, we'll trial them out and then we'll decide which route we go down. And in that 2 months it's so essential you go above and beyond for that client, not only for your service delivery but communication, and just making sure that they feel like they're getting a better service with you. Because usually what happens is the existing agency has taken their foot off the ball a little bit, which means they're not putting all of their effort into that client. They've got other clients that they're putting all their effort into. They don't communicate well enough. So when you come in and go really above and beyond, they're like, oh, so this is how an agency should really behave. And that's hence how you win the client. Obviously, that all is still based on you being able to get them results, because you have the best communication in the world and you're talking to them every day and you've got a good relationship with them. If the other agency that doesn't speak to them still gets some better results and makes them more money, then they're just going to keep them on. But that's where you have to be careful. What's super essential to find out is what they're paying the other agency and what services that other agency is doing. Just because you're not, if they're, say you usually throw in social media management for all of your clients and they're doing the social media management, there's going to be a bit of conflict there, because obviously you're not going to be able to do the social media management if it's already being done. So you do need to make sure that you're competitive on price, providing that the services are the same. If you're offering more services, then your prices can increase, or if you've just got a better brand in general, then you can have a price increase. But it's a strange dynamic, it really is. And I want to try and explain a few times which we've come out on top and not come out on top. The one and only time that we didn't come out on top was the very first time it happened. I remember it vividly. And this was years ago, probably over 3 years ago now. And it was a dental practice. He was working with an existing agency for 2 or 3 years. Did have a really good relationship with them. It was actually the beginning of COVID, and we'd worked with them probably 4 months prior to them making the decision to get rid of us, and it was purely down to money getting tighter. And he said, I've had these people longer, so I'm going to stay with them. I think if it wasn't for money getting tighter, for whatever reason, outside factors impacted it massively, I think we probably could have kept them if we built the relationship a bit stronger. And that was the lesson we learned from that instance, was building that relationship, irrespective of results, is so important, because it can actually carry a lot of weight. And it just happened to be when the ball dropped, he had a better relationship with the other agency in comparison to me, because that was fairly early on in my agency career. I was about a year and I don't know, I think it was like a year and a half into my agency. And that's, looking back on it now, there were certain things that I was doing. I was quite naive in certain situations, and it's taught me that relationship building. And now I probably 85% of every client we work with become really good friends of ours if they stay over 3 months. So this is something that we've put a lot of time and effort into building in our agency in order to make sure that we do maintain relationships and keep clients when push comes to shove. Which leads me on to the second half of this video, guys, which is, do you reach out to businesses that are already working with existing clients? And I've actually done a video probably a year ago now, coming up to a year ago, on how to steal clients away from other agencies. And I actually did an Instagram post on this, and it's one of my most liked and most viewed posts on Instagram, which is, how to steal clients away from other agencies. And it's actually very true. And it's not necessarily you finding an agency and finding every client they work with and stealing every one of their clients. That's not what we mean. But we still very much go after clients that have other agencies running their ads because we know we can do a better job. And that's it's almost easier to win a client when they're already working with another agency than to win a client that aren't working with another agency. And the reason being is because they've got a benchmark. And as you'll know, if you're a long stander of this channel, if you've been in the agency game long enough, that the social media marketing world is very, I don't know what way to put it, frankly, shit. It's really not good. 99% of people have no clue what they're doing. They'll sign a 3-month contract and that's a win for them. Keeping them after, they don't have any thought in their brain to keep them after that 3 months because they know they're not going to be able to. So when Tom and I come along, or an academy member of ours comes along, and they put it in black and white of how an agency should behave, that client's just like, holy shit, like, why have I not been working with an agency like you when I've been dealing with all of this shit from this other agency? And it's almost like they've been sold on the Facebook ad idea, but hence why they're working with an agency. So now the only missing piece is finding an agency that can actually deliver what Facebook ads and what sales funnels are all about, which makes our job super easy because we come in, have a good relationship with them, know how to communicate and sell them in the correct way, and it's game over. So yes, if you're looking, at clients and you see that they're already running ads, have a look at their ads. If they've got 2 ads up and they don't look particularly good, the copy's not very good, the landing page that they send them to is crap, or the sales funnel's designed terribly, then they're probably the hottest client you could ever go after, because all you need to do is show them a Facebook ad that actually works, a sales funnel that is designed nicely and actually converts, and then examples of clients that you've worked with in the past that are getting good results, because I'm sure they're not getting good results if that Facebook ad and those sales funnels are crap. And then you've just got a new client. So we always do go after clients that are working with other agencies because we know we can just steal them instantly. And that's not unethical. Like, if people stole a client away from Tom and I, fair enough. Like, if you can portray enough value that supersedes what Tom and I are currently doing for every one of our clients, then fair play. You're a better person than we are, obviously, and you deserve that client. So it's a dog eat dog world. You have to go after any client that you think you can do a better job for, because if you are doing a better job, then that client's going to be massively thankful if you're taking the tasks off someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So always go after clients irrespective if they're running ads in the past. But like I say, it's still very common that you can work with a client that's also working with other agencies. In the past, we have actually got on meetings with the other agency. So flipping it on its head slightly, we worked with a client for over a year, and even then, that client still signed another agency. He's just this. He's a particular client that's sold very easily, and he almost believes everything he hears. So we got on this call with this other agency who had this new Google AdWords system. Tom and I saw straight through it. We told him, like, this isn't going to get you good results, and he went ahead with this other agency. We actually got on a call with this other agency because we had such a good relationship with the client, and the client wanted us to have a good relationship with them, so it was smooth integration into the business. And they would need, because we managed their website as well, they would need stuff from us to get things up, and we were more than happy to do so. So we worked with this other agency to help them get set up, even though we knew that it was going to be a disaster, and we told the client it was going to be a disaster. And he, unfortunately, without telling us, signed a 1 year agreement with this other agency. And it was 2 months in, they brought 1 lead in, and they were charging £1,500 a month on a service fee plus £1,000 a month in Google AdWords spend. And they brought 1 lead in 2 months. And and it was just an absolute disaster. So we actually were on the kind of receiving, although obviously we remain and we still have that client to this day. We've experienced that whole transition of bringing on another agency from an agency that's existing as well. So it works both ways. So don't be offended if you've got a current client and they bring on another agency. When you're working with them, you do need to almost fight it to the death and back yourself and back your service delivery. Know that you do a good job and know that your service fee is better than, know that your ability and your skill set's better than theirs, and just win the client, and eventually they'll get rid of them. So hope you enjoyed that video, guys. It's a bit of a different video. It was a question I got asked during the week on Instagram, and I thought I'd do a video on it because it's quite interesting, and we've had quite a few cases where we've had to deal with that situation. So hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Please make sure you subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the next video.